Most sales professionals think prospecting is all about sending those messages, doing those cold calls, hitting those numbers. Honestly, that's not true, right? Why do I say that? Because prospecting is a lot about understanding the psychology of the customer. It's about how do you craft that better email? How do you actually have emotional resilience because you're going to face more objections than anybody else? Well, prospecting is a different game altogether. And if you are someone who's struggling to prospect consistently, if you are someone whose pipeline is not really full right now, if you are someone who hesitates to pick up the phone and talk, this video is for you. Because in this video, I am going to talk to you about 5R framework that you can vouch on anytime you want to prospect better. Let's take a deep dive and let's simplify sales. Do you know where do people actually win the prospecting game? Now, it's not in the inbox, it's not in the DM that you are sending to your prospect. Now, it's actually won in the mind, and that's where most people fail. And that's the reason I say the first of the R that you got to count on is to count on rewiring your mindset. Because what are you doing when you are sending a cold DM to your prospect? What are you doing when you are picking up the phone and cold calling your prospect? You're not disturbing them. If that's your mindset, then you're going to fail anyhow, right? You got to rewire your mind and think that you are not disturbing them. You're actually solving their problem. You're adding value to the customer whenever you are prospecting and by whatever means that you are prospecting. Well, a lot of times people struggle because in their mind they think that they are disturbing the prospect. In their mind they are thinking, hey, you know what if the objection shows up and I fail, right? And if you're operating from that zone, if you're not rewiring your brain, if you're not rewiring your mindset, then what is going to happen is this. You're going to encounter objections and your energy is going to drop and your prospect can sense it, and that's where you lose out. That's the reason it's important for you to first work on rewiring your mindset. Great. Now that you have done your rewiring of the mindset, what do you do next is not again do those random cold calls or random DMs or random emailing. Why? Again, you will encounter problems and you will give up too soon. And then you will say prospecting is not for me. And that's the reason the second R becomes extremely important. What you got to do is research about your prospect. Do as much research about your prospect, right? Before you reach out to them. And that's exactly what most people do, right? They reach out to them too soon before researching about them. And that's where they falter. Now, when you do research, think about what the prospect is thinking. Think about what problems are they facing. Think about how can you connect with them, how can you build rapport with them. Now, all of these research will help you personalize your outreach. Well, if your outreach is not personalized, here is what the prospect is thinking. Hey, this is just another mass email or a mass message that somebody has sent it to me, and they would ignore it fully. And when they ignore it, you would feel not comfortable about it, and then you will give up too soon. Well, that's the reason researching about your prospect is extremely important for you to succeed in prospecting. Now, if these two are done really well, half of the battle is already won. Let's look at what else do we do when we are prospecting. The next thing that you must master is your game in itself, right? The reaching out game. The next R is about reaching out. Now, when you're reaching out, make sure that you prepare yourself. In case you're doing a cold call, what will be your first line? How will you pattern interrupt and make sure that the prospect is giving you all their ears? They are listening to you fully. If you are sending a cold DM, how are you going to make sure that they resonate with the message? Now, when you're reaching out to them, remember one more rule. You must not just reach out in one channel. You should be reaching out to them in using multiple channels. Like you can use a LinkedIn, you can use an email, you can probably use cold calling and all the other channels, right? But don't reach out only using one channel. But every time you're reaching out to them, make sure the previous two steps are actually followed, right? That means you've done enough research and now you're reaching out to them. Your reach out should never feel like another spam message. You will easily get ignored, and then again, you will talk yourself out of this prospecting game. Now, you've done some amazing work, right? You've done rewiring of your brain. You are now confident enough. Now you've done research. Now you've done reach out. Now what happens now is something that is a big no-no. Your reach out cannot be the same for everyone. And that's the reason, or it should not be, sounding similar anytime, right? You got to really see what is working and what is not. You got to keep refining everything forward, and that's the fourth R. Every time you do a research, every time you do a reach out, you will have data points to fall back on. That means it's like an A/B testing, right? A subject line worked and a subject line did not, right? So what would you do? You would use one subject line more and kind of give up on the subject line that did not work, right? That's a refinement for you. When you did a cold call, maybe one opener worked for you. That's a lesson. That's a lesson that you have cracked. Now use that lesson and keep refining your reach out. Otherwise, you will keep doing the same thing over and over again and expect a different result. And that's not a good thing to do. Isn't that true? What do you do next is repeat what is working for you and make sure that you actually continuously, consistently follow this process. Because remember, prospecting is a game of consistency. Prospecting is a game where you don't have that kind of a laid back attitude. You got to do what is working for you more number of times, and that's where repetition comes in. In fact, repetition is the mother of all the learning. So everything that is working in your favor, repeat it more number of times. That's how you get better at prospecting. So here is what I really want to tell you. The prospectors who are actually delivering consistent results are not necessarily the ones that have a lot of great skills, but they are the ones who fall back on these fundamentals. They consistently rewire their mind. They make sure that they research before they reach out, and every time they reach out, they make sure that they refine from the lessons that they have learned, and they keep repeating the same thing over and over and over again. And that's where they build the DNA of being a great prospector, right? Make sure that you do that. Isn't that true, right? These are the 5 simple things. So tell me, which of these 5 R's most sales professionals struggle with? Now, let me know in the comment section. And also, if you like this video or if someone around you must watch this video, do make sure that you subscribe and share this video with them. Signing off for now, my name is Sharat Sharma. See you in the next video.